One thing I really love is doing behind the nut bends. And it's funny, I really started doing more of that when I moved to New York. And I think in some way it's because I felt like an amoeba when I moved to New York from San Francisco. And I feel like, I don't know, like I wanted to get as much attention as possible. So I started doing these behind the nut, dive bomb stuff. But in a way, it's just a sound too that I really love, and it's very subtle. I mean, for example, I don't know if I could do it. Yeah, like if I bent D to E or did it, there's a subtle difference that I really prefer, and it does sustain a lot longer. So one of the things I do is, I use just my first finger, unless I'm doing two notes, like that. But I'll talk about that in a sec. Is I just use my first finger, and you got to keep yourself from using one and two. Otherwise, you'll tie your hand up, and you don't want to do that because you eventually, you'll be reaching over with these fingers, and if you use two fingers, you just have no span whatsoever. So, and the other thing is you don't want to go out of tune. And one thing that helps is putting graphite in the nut. When I change my strings, I get out the pencil and I get a lot of graphite in there, and it helps. Make it slippery. I actually had powdered Teflon for a while. Some guy in Finland gave me powdered Teflon, but it was just a mess. I'd put it on there and there'd be all this powder all over the place. So I went, but it was really slippery. I mean, it was a great substance. But I went back to the graphite just because it was easier and less mess. So, I'll use these for whatever, playing melodies, it's just a moody sound. I mean, that sounds very, masculine to me. And if you're going to play two notes, it's nice to play. And then you could hit harmonics and get, great sound, I think. That's some of that, hey, I'm in New York, pay attention licks, So, and then, and then, anyway, we're going to cover this in the upcoming musical segments.